focus on position. First thing we gotta do is break this guy down, and then we'll get into some turns. Now, right off the whistle, I always want to be pumping forward, driving forward. Like we've talked about, we have to get the weight on his hands. We gotta get his hips out. I mean, he needs to keep his hips underneath him from the bottom. Stay in the position, elbows in, hips underneath him. So from the top, we want to do the opposite. We want to get his hips forward, the weight on his hands, then we can break him down pretty easily. So we got to focus on breaking down that position. So off the whistle, I'm just going to bump forward, I'm just going to drive in the butt, and everything goes all on his hands here. So off the whistle, I'm just bumping forward, bump. A lot of times I'll go spiral, or I'll chop, I'll use this tight waist, and everything bumps forward. Now once I get that initial bump, the first thing I always look for was hooking a leg. So we get the weight off, weight on his hands, get his hips up, boom. Now I'm looking to scoop. And now I got this trap. Anytime I have this scoop, I want to keep it off the mat. We've talked about this in other positions. You lose your power, you have nothing to drive off of if your foot's up off the mat. It's very hard to go anywhere. So he's kind of stuck on this knee. So that frees up my arms. So now I have a lot more I can do with my arms, so I don't have to worry about necessarily holding them down. Now I just have to work on breakdown, stretching wrists. So again, we're going to bump forward, get all the way on his hands. Off the whistle, bump. Weight on his hands. My front knee actually goes in blocks, so then he can't bring his knee forward. And now I'm looking to scoop, and I keep this foot off the mat. Now then, weight stays off his hands. It's awfully hard for him to knee slide underneath and make adjustments because I'm blocking, I got this leg pinched, and his foot's off the mat. Now again, like I said, that frees up my arms. I can do a lot more here. A lot of times, I'll have a tight waist, and I'll work on this chop. In combination, if you post that arm, boom, chop, boom. Again, notice the foot. Foot stays off the mat. Foot's always up. So if he wants to get away, he's got to deal with that before he can think about getting out. So again, I'm bumping forward. You can do that in a couple ways. You can go spiral. Not a traditional spiral running out, but I want to focus on everything going towards his arms. So it goes back and forth. Immediately I'm going to block his knee with my knee. Now I'm scooping once his weight goes forward. We got this pinched and everything. Keep that foot off the mat and everything's forward here. Now again, I'm freed up to use my arms a little more. And I have tight waist. I look to bump this thing out, break it down this position. Between that, chop, bump, chop. I got that wrist. Another thing that works pretty well here. So I'm bumping forward, blocking, scooping. Now this hand really floats between a tight waist, if I need it, or it comes in and goes to thigh press. Now because I got this leg pinched, my knee's blocked, he can't bring this knee underneath, getting his hips under him. And the other thing is now this, thigh prise here. So now this other knee has a hard time coming up underneath him. So if he's trying to knee slide, this thing just makes it that much harder, right? Tight waist transitions right down to this thigh press. Now again, allows me to really work this side of his body, knocking things out, chopping. You can catch your wrist on the far side. But he's got to deal with this block, this hook, this block. So I just keep that pressure forward, keep bumping, look to catch wrist, bump, chop. If he's really posted out, you can go head and armpit, forces him to mat. That wrist out. So again, off the whistle, we're bumping everything forward. He goes to the butt, get all the way on his hands. Bump. Now I'm blocking right away, so we can't move that knee forward. And scoop, get this foot off the mat. Now again, I got tight waist / thigh pie. So if I feel like he's trying to scoop his knee underneath him, get his hips underneath him, I'm just going thigh pie, make it that much harder. Otherwise, I can go on with this tight waist chop. He's posted out. Bump, 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 bump. Catch knee or wrist. We're just working on those hands. As long as we keep our weight forward, then she'll get to those wrists. So again, everything's got to move forward. Open off the whistle, scooping that leg. Hook. Now I get the pry, tight waist, and a lot of times I can even drop my shoulder and get a little more extension here. Really bump that out. Tight waist. Now I'm just looking to catch wrist. If he's really posted out hard, I go wrist. Catch that wrist. I know we did some turns on top. I primarily did cross wrist, so I've been to a cross wrist series, mostly tilts. We have some pinning combinations out there as well. So like we talked about, we gotta make sure we bump everything forward, get the weight on his hands. I'm always looking to scoop a leg, I have an extra measure of security here and it makes it that much harder for me to get out. Now, once I break him down, catch this wrist here, scooping this leg, keep this leg off the mat. Now once I have this cross wrist, I need to let him come up. So I'll kind of release that pressure as it comes up. First thing I'll do is I'll look to roll under, just pulling this wrist nice and tight. I rotate my elbow underneath, I just kind of leg roll, put my feet underneath. Now we want to be perpendicular. I'm elevating his bottom leg, my knees nice and tight, locked against his hip here, so he's nice and tight in my lap. Now, obviously once we toe, we got a ton of options. I can go to my turn, lift this up to my armpit, scoop, heel first, cross face, turn face down for the fall. So again, we're bumping everything forward, catching that leg, controlling that hip. Now, I can come underneath, catching your wrist, bring it in, or I can arm chop. Once I get this wrist and break him down, I gotta take pressure off so he comes up. Now, first thing I can roll under, catch right in my hip. So make sure we're perpendicular rather than parallel. So we don't want to be side to side, but we want to make it two with our body. Now, ultimately, what I'm looking for is bar tilt. So once I get this wrist, I think is the safest thing. I want to give it a little space. Right, we take the pressure off. Now I almost push this arm across his body. So he's got a little space in his wing. Now I can dig this in here. Now once you get bar, wrist, I think it's almost impossible to stop the turn. So what I'm going to do from here is circle around the far side. I'm squatting down just like a catcher. I'm just pulling him right in my lap. Right in my lap. Now I pinch, my knees up against his body, like laying my foot on the mat. I'm up tight, glued to him, pinch, elevate bottom leg. And again, we're perpendicular, not parallel. I get my count, let him belly out. And I keep that cross wrist, I can transition between his legs and go into a whole bunch of different turns from here. Pump forward, now catch. Now as it comes up, there's our opening, we can roll underneath, but even a little more high level, pushing this thing out here. Now I can dig this in, work in, fist. Once I got the bar wrist, now I just circle, squat down the far side, home right in my lap. Pinch, and elevate. Now, this bar wrist is very effective. If he's really winging down once I get this, I can't circle the other side, then all we have to do is roll underneath. Right in position. If he goes flat, then we're treating it just like a gut wrench. My shoulder goes in his back, I just drive forward, knee goes in his hip. Use it as my lever, right in my tilt position. So once we get the bar wrist, it should be pretty much impossible to not get back points. Now, if I have a hard time feeding that threading the needle, there's a few tricks. Once I get this wrist, I can't get this thing, just keep it tight, and I'll just go in here. And I'm gonna look to tilt him here, but what I'm doing is I'm really looking for my opening to get this in. So I can start rolling around. As soon as I roll him here, I probably won't get this, and he's forgetting about this. So I come on top, boom, out my bar. So we're just rolling to kind of create a distraction here. So again, once I get this wrist, I can't get this thing, he's keeping it tight. So we just kind of roll through. Now it's secured. I can tilt him up. He's bent. Alright, now a couple pin combinations from this cross wrist. The first thing I would look for is to tilt him up and get my back points. But a lot of times, once I have this cross wrist, maybe I told him a couple times, a lot of times he'll have his head on the mat and he's a little demoralized there. I still got this cross wrist, I'm stepping over, like we talked about before, I got this leg hooked, or at least I'm sitting on this leg. Now if his head's posted on the mat, I'm going to reach over top across to the far ear, right in that area, and I'm going to turn his head and bring it to his near shoulder here. Turn his head, bring it to his near shoulder. Now from here, I'm just going to drive forward and stack him up. I'm going to take my knee, grab his butt, and again, remember, head's pinched, just like we talked about in the front headlock head pinch, but his head's kinked, he just wants to go over. Head's kinked, now I'm just going to drive forward. He loses all strength in his neck when I turn it. Nice and tight. Now I'm just catching myself on my own head. I got this leg up. So a quick little stack that might go to catch some guys in. Got this cross wrist, his head's on the mat. Even if it's not, even if it's up, I just turn it away from me and bring it to that near shoulder. That crack. Turn it, so you should be facing away. Bring it to the near shoulder now, put it to the mat. Now once it's on the mat, it loses all strength because it's kinked to the side. Now I just drive forward. Catch on my own head, I got this strap. If I don't have this strap, I'll just roll right through. Or it should be positioned where you get a quick two or get the quick fall. So again, I'm hooked over top of this ankle, got my cross wrist here. I turn this head away into the near shoulder. The shoulder that's closest to me here. Turn this head away, there. Now he loses all that strength, put it to the mat. Now from here I drive forward, catch on my own head, knee in the butt. Stack them up. Now, the other option, a lot of times if I got this cross wrist, this guy's just gonna go flat, try not to make the turns. Now I'm just gonna circle to the wrist side, circle around. Now from here I'm gonna switch locks, switch, release. Now I take my knee, shove it right in his armpit. Now the hand that originally had the cross wrist makes a fist, it goes right along his neck, and I post that right on the mat. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to get him to grab his leg, his foot, if I can. So I'm kind of putting it right in front of him. Hopefully he'll grab it. And now from here, I just high leg over, take a big step. Now, from here, I'm just going to drop my weight, drop my hips, chest to chest, move forward. So again, he's flattened out. We've got this cross wrist. Keep my weight on him. I'm just switching my lock off to the side towards this wrist. Switch hands. Now, make a fist right along his neck. At the same time, I take my knee and put it right in his armpit. Now I throw my foot out and attempting to lure him into grabbing this thing. Now once he goes right over top, now I just take a big step. Now I have him trapped. Now I can just fold my hips down, chest to chest, and fall. So again, cross wrist is flattened out. Rotate to the side, switch hands, knee to armpit, fist, take the fist over the mat right on his neck. Now, even if he doesn't grab this thing, I hopes that he will, but I can still step. I'm gonna track. Drop the weight, chest to chest, going to fall. So now we're gonna get into the leg lace freestyle position here. When I'm doing my lace, I always like to start with my knee on the inside of this leg and my foot to the outside. And so I'm keeping all my weight on this leg and really box it out. So I got this bottom leg really stuck in the mat, not able to bend it or move from there. Now I want to be up top, showing that I'm doing something else, and then it's a quick transition. I'm slide down, and again, as I slide down, all my weight should be on this leg, keep it locked out and flat. So I slide down, my shoulder goes in the butt. Now from here, notice this leg's carrying all the weight. I'm going underneath the knees, and now this thing really helps keep this thing locked out so you can't move the bottom leg. Now I'm just working to cross my hand over the free leg. Now I'm dropping, and I go to instep. So again, foot to the outside, knees on the inside. All my weight's on this leg, it's locked out. I'm up top, slide down here. Knee goes, or shoulder goes in the butt. Keep flying. A lot of times I'm trying to come up. Keep them flat here. You're still fighting to come up. Now I just scoop the free leg. I'm not crossing anything. I keep all my weight on this foot. And now my hand crosses down low. As I slide down. Now rotate underneath. Now catch the instep of this foot here. Right in the toe instep, which applies a lot of pressure. Now I can roll myself underneath. And by rolling myself underneath, he feels comfortable, feels loosened. Once I get on top, now it's tight. Now we should tackle. So we want to give him kind of a false sense of security where everything's nice and loose, and then I roll myself underneath, and that cinches everything up nice and tight. So stand up. Stand up. Okay. So when I'm doing this lace, really what I'm doing, I'm keeping this leg flat on my waist on this leg, and I'm just looking to cross here. Cross. Go down. So the key, first thing, knee on the inside, foot on the outside. And if I keep his toe pointed out, that's even better, because it makes it easier for me to grab that thing where I want. So ideally, his foot's outside, all my weight's on his leg, my hand's above his knee, and I drop down. Shoulder goes in his butt here, keep the pressure on, and down. The free leg, I'm just wrapping, switching down here. And I just drop my hips as I go. Notice how his toe is pointed out, so it's easier for me to grab where I want. Continue to drop. Now I go underneath, and I don't want to start rolling yet. I want to rotate my body underneath. And then come up. As I come up, hold my elbow tight, that puts pressure on the foot. Now it's tight. We'll do a little lower lace here, it's a little quicker. And again, it doesn't take up a lot of strength from your arms like a traditional lace coming through, which is a little slower. So everything's quick, down low, and really we're taking this foot, putting a lot of pressure on it. So, knee on the inside, foot's on the outside. I got this thing completely locked out, it's carrying all my weight, so we can't move this bottom leg. So really, I just need to cross this over top. I don't have to bring this leg up, I just need to bring my arm over. Again, he can't really move this thing, that's what I'm focused on, so if he moves his other leg, he pulls his knee up, I gotta work on moving this thing down. So he pulls this thing up, I just pull this in tight. Now again, I slide off, as I do that, my hand crosses here. Now, I create a little space, and then rotate underneath first. Now as I come up on top, it's cinched up. It's tight. This is the instep, that's where we want to grab. Instep, and wrap. Knee on the inside, foot on the outside, and ideally if you held it, this foot's down, it's pointed out. So it's easier for me to grasp that instep. So this thing stays glued down, up top, slide down. Now he's gonna fight a little bit, he's gonna try to come up, keep him flat. If he starts to bring this free leg forward, I gotta bring this thing back, but I keep all my weight centered on this bottom leg. Bring it in here. Now from here, I just gotta slide everything down, right? Like I said, keep this foot pointed out if we can, makes it easier to transition. I slide down here. Now I got cross. Now, I want him to feel like everything's nice and loose. I don't take myself underneath. Don't start to roll again. Now I come on top. It's tight. So we're giving that false sense of security, everything's nice and loose. I rotate myself underneath, that cinches it up. So again, Lee's gonna give me a little feel here. One more time. Knee to the inside, foot's on the outside. Again, if I can have this toe pointed out, it makes it easier to transition to that. And down. Now I got slow. Now I just gotta work on rotating. Create a little space. Rotate my body underneath. Now I go on top. Oh, I got locked. Hey guys, I'm Dustin Schlater, just wrapped up with Fanatic Wrestling. Today we're going to rely high-level offense, some counterattacks, some defense, some turns on top and control ties, so hopefully you learned something. I want to give a shout out to my partner Jake Leva, Gopher Wrestling, 133-pounder. I'm the head coach of the Gopher Wrestling Club Minnesota Storm, so appreciate you guys tuning in, and hopefully it was worth your while.